Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, I had planned to have an update ready for this week, but a number of things that I worked on this past couple days especially took a good deal longer to get done than I expected. And so we're going to be doing something a bit different, something new starting this week, but I'll get to that in a second. I first wanted to show you a little toy that I had somehow forgotten from a couple updates ago. I went through the trouble of implementing it and then forgot to put it in the item spawner and show it to you, which is another single action revolver. This is the 1879, I'm going to terribly mispronounce this, Rikes revolver. Classic looking piece. I absolutely love the long dimensions on it. Same control scheme as the single action army. So we click left on the touchpad to open up its loading gate. I'm going to go ahead and 2, 3, throw a bunch of these in here. Load them one at a time, clicking right on the touchpad to advance the cylinder. We are fully loaded. And because we haven't done it in a while, let's fan fire this sucker. Far too much fun. So yeah, so that'll be popping into the item spawner in the next update. But the main thing that I wanted to show you while I'm standing in this scene here is, as promised, I have taken a look at making a front-facing teleport for Oculus users who are using 2 sensors, and I'm going to show it to you now. I'm going to start by standing roughly in the center of my tracked volume here. I'm going to pull open the options panel, go into movement mode options, and you can see the new option here, Joystick Teleport Robo Recall Style. So let's go ahead and just put that there. So the way this works is very similar to the touchpad teleport. By default, are your joysticks. You see Vive controllers here, but the input mapping comes in the same way. Which is that by default, your joysticks aren't going to do anything. If you click them in, you're still going to get the grab ray, etc. And this is because the fact that we still need the joysticks most of the time, or at least with one hand, for operating various objects and firearms. So basically, to enable it, it's similar to touchpad locomotion, in that if you just click your essentially dedicated teleport button, you will see this pop up. I'm actually going to change this to, instead of being arrows, be something like a cool teleport symbol. What this basically means is that this hand is now controlling teleport, and 2 things happen when that occurs. One, when I move and touch the joystick, that input is not forwarded to the object. But in this case, let's see if we can, importantly, if we look down, we can now see that's the center of our tracked range. This little helper turns on when we're in that mode, because teleportation isn't relative to where you're standing in your tracked range. It assumes that you've got your feet planted basically right here in the center of it. So what we're going to do is now touch our touchpad / joystick, and by simply touching it and holding on the joystick or the touchpad, we get our teleport ray, and by simply moving our thumb 2 different directions, we get our new facing. So if I put this over here facing to our left, we should be looking straight that way. Note, I'm spinning my torso here, but I'm keeping my feet planted, which is how you generally want to play when you're doing front-facing VR, just because otherwise you get super disoriented. So instead, I can go over here and be facing the pad. Boop, here we go. Forward, facing to the left. Facing this way, facing this way. Obviously, it's generally speaking preferable to have enough sensors to be able to do room scale, but if you don't have a 3rd sensor yet and you're an Oculus user, this should hopefully make the more action-packed modes in H3 much easier and faster for you to navigate, because you can just do it in a single touch or a click. There's a 0.25 second cooldown for it, so you can still teleport rapidly, but the cooldown is largely in place so that you don't accidentally double teleport as you're pulling your thumb off the joystick. So, and remember, you don't have to steal it from one hand to the other to disable it. You can just click that teleport button again, and now neither of these has the teleport active on the hand. So hopefully that should help you out. Once I have the beta pushed, if you want to try it, let me know how it goes. So we're going to jump out of VR real quickly for a second to talk about what is going to be different for this week's release. Basically, I'm finally doing a beta branch, so I'll talk about the details of that right now.
Yo! So we're out of VR now, so let's talk about what is going to be different about the way H3 releases work starting this week. It's in two categories of things. The first is that I'm going to spin up a beta branch for the first time in, like, ever. A bunch of folks have been prodding me to do it for the longest time. Truth be told, it was one of those, like, combinations of, like, ignorance and stubbornness that had me not realize how easy it was to do now. I thought I had to make these, like, separate build depots and upload things separately. I didn't know I could just push another build as normal and hit a different drop down, and that's all I needed to do. So I feel like a bit of a bozo for that. But yeah, so I'm going to push the first beta tonight at 7 p.m. PST when an update would normally drop. There are going to be a couple special things about it. For one, the new locomotion mode that I just put in is going to be in there. So I'd love those of you who are using a front-facing configuration to try it out and let me know how it works for you. The second thing that is changing, or will be one thing of note about it, is that MeatGrinder will not be in that beta. So if you download the beta, that scene will be deactivated, just because it's not stable and ready yet. I'm having some issues with resource loading with the ProcGen system. The third thing, and this is the most important, is that this beta version will use the new way that I'm loading assets across the entire game. And so what this means is that you will get in much faster, but then for the first, I don't exactly know how long, the game will asynchronously load the content that it needs to run various levels. And so what that means is that if you're an SSD user, if you run the game and don't have your headset on, likely by the time you put your headset on and get your controllers in your hands, the game should have already loaded everything you need. If you are on a mechanical hard drive, it's probably going to take a little while. I don't know how long yet. The way assets are being loaded now, they are smaller on disk, more efficiently compressed. So they should come off the disk faster, but it's still a lot of data. And those of you using like non-cache assisted drives on older SATA connectors may still experience something like a 1 to 2 minute load time. I haven't been able to test it because I don't have that hardware here. So this beta is specifically to do that. So especially if you are running a low spec machine and don't mind, you know, giving me a little bit of your time, I'd love to know how long it basically takes for you to load. You'll basically see a progress bar on the panel where you normally click load level. It'll tell you what percentage it's done loading. You will likely notice a little bit of judder or intermittent frame drops while it's doing that loading, mainly because Unity is still incapable of asynchronously loading things, even at the slowest rate, without frame drops in VR. And there's nothing that I can do about it. So hopefully it isn't juddery enough, or so you don't get IO hitches that drop you out. So I'm very, very interested to hear what your experience is top to bottom with it. And I'll be creating a thread as usual on the H3 subreddit about this. So yeah, so that's the big stuff. I'm going to let's see, how much do I want to talk about it? Well, in terms of one of the things that went differently this week than I expected is that as I dove into modifying the loading system across the board, I had to recode a bunch of MeatGrinder. And in the process, I sort of got MeatGrinder back in my head a lot and just had so much fun working on it that I decided to add a bunch more content to it. So MeatGrinder has way more firearms that can spawn in its proc gen pool. It was something like 15 before, now it's 70. Sort of the, and let's see what else. I've changed the way that loot spawns, so that it's more common in the various areas. There are more opportunities to get a new firearm than, say, just looking on a shelf in the office. There are, I think, there are so far 6 new enemy types that can show up, and by the time I push the final version of it next week, there'll probably be another 2 to 3 that I have almost done. So basically, conceptually, the big transition that's happened is that the MeatGrinder that is on the store right now is mostly a sort of like horror, navigation-y, puzzle-y kind of game, with a little bit of combat in it and very, very restricted ammo. It has now been changed to be a lot more action horror, but you'll still be able to play it in the classic mode. There's going to be several new modes added to it that you'll select in that sort of pre-scene area. So if you want to play it classic, you'll be able to do that. If you want to play it way more shootery, lots of enemies, a lot more equipment, you'll be able to play it like that. And also, for those of you who are like, the mode looks cool, but I'm a wimp, I can't handle it. There is going to be a couple ways that you can tone that down. So you'll be able to have the item spawner in there if you want. So if you want to just like kit yourself out with a Mark 18 and a 100-round drum mag, just to like take all comers, you can do so. And if you really want to play it without the threat level and just want to mess around, you'll be able to basically turn on invincibility in that mode if you want. So all of that will be available next week. As I said, that won't be in the beta that I'm pushing tonight because it's not quite ready. And there's a whole bunch more content that I didn't even just mention now that's going to be in MeatGrinder. And the process of basically bringing over Worst World bot code went super well. And so what that means is that next week they'll also show up in a different way in the arena. I was still unsure how that would work with a different sort of navigation node setup, but it works super well, and it's super fun. So those will be in there as well. Cool. Well, what I'm going to leave you with now, now that I've done my little ramble, is just a little bit of footage that I just shot of myself playing MeatGrinder. I'm not actually trying to beat it in any of these videos, like actually going to find the pieces of meat, except maybe in the first little run I did. But just to show you now, just to be able to show you some of the content variety and a few of the new agents. I made sure that only a couple of them showed up in this footage, so it's still going to be a big surprise for those of you who will be playing it next week. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.
So we're in our new upgraded version of MeatGrinder here. I'm going to gather my starting equipment. There's a few things you should notice. For one, we always get a shotgun when we begin now, and somewhere between 3 and 5 shells of a random type. I've lucked out, and as you can see white here, these are flechette shells. These are easily the most powerful of all the 12 gauge shells. I'm going to go ahead and load our 250 here, see where our doors are. Looks like we started in the freezer. And we've got a Serbu Super Shorty Tactical here, which doesn't have a very high capacity. It's 2+1. And we've got an extra 4 shells it can carry. I'm going to put that in the upper shoulder and make sure I'm nice and centered here, and get moving. Oh, very important to always break our meat piles to see if we get anything. That was just a tippy toy. Oh, look at that. So one thing you'll notice immediately playing this is that the loot tables are quite different now. It gives you way more ammo. Firearms are more common in a bunch of contexts, mainly in what are called lotto rooms, and that's because there's a lot more enemies. So let's go ahead and set out.
This is cold storage. Nothing to worry about here. So just chill. Chill.
Cool. Our boxes here in cold storage are way more likely to have useful things in them. In fact, they had originally planned to have more in, but there was a couple code errors, so that's been fixed. What do you got here? Looks like a Update45 mag. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. Gotta be careful. I don't think we've got very much ammo in our 250 here left. And I really want to save those flechette shells. Oh, we're out. Axe it is. Ooh. Oh, that looks like a PP91 mag. So basically the way the spawn tables work is that for each run you do, there are 3 possible handguns that spawn, 2 shotguns, 2 SMGs, and 2 rifles. So if you find ammo for something, it does have an ability to show up, but there's now more weapons that can happen in a run. So you may have to ditch stuff if you don't think the gun is good, or if you're unlikely to find it. Can't believe I'm doing this with a hatchet. I want to try to get to the office. The office still has, pretty reliably, a firearm or 2. And I need something better here. We're just going to keep this out just in case. Just in case we need to snap fire. Crap. Another one. Got the blow flechette shell on it. Whew. As I said, there's that's why you want to save them. Gunshots also attract nearby bots, so you have to be careful. Attracted another friend.
Welcome to the office. Say hello to all the soulless bureaucrats.
Tangle myself. Hasn't seen me yet. Oh crap. 2 friends. Oh, they might be fighting each other. Nope, they're not.
Could you not see that coming?
And I'm dead. That run ended badly for me. Let's try another. Got a wrench this time.
Good. A real weapon. Good.
Looks like we've got some fragmenting shells for our break action. Not too bad. And a C96 for a handgun. Keep that spare shell up there. Oh.
That device is special. Kind of like you, only, well, actually special.
All right. Mauser and Rich. Let's see if this has anything. Nope. Okay, nothing in here. Nope. I don't need an aim point. Ammo. Ooh, ooh, there we go. There we go. Another stripper clip. For a Mauser. Crap. Oh, crap. Shoot. Got a shotgun bot here. Just run. Oh, red room. Let's do it. Okay, this is one of the new lotto room types. This one's called Choose Only One, where you can choose one of these 4 guns. I'm going to choose...
Okay, careful. Be delicate with that. It deserves it. It loves it.
Always need to listen for more robots after taking one out. They are attracted to the sound of gunfire, as I think I mentioned before. Let's get the hell out of the freezer. Oh, crap.
Meathead, table for 1.
Crap. Running. Running. Office. Good. Let's find a shelf. No shelf here. Make sure the one that was probably behind me isn't following. Nope. So this glitch you're seeing here, where the screen just goes black, it's a Unity occlusion culling glitch. I cannot fix it at the moment. It's going to require an engine update. So when it happens to you, I'm sorry. So let's pick up these shells. As you can see, what I'm doing here is that I'm popping them in the same pocket. I'm hovering them over the pocket, clicking up on the touchpad.
Okay, you do know how to use that, yes? Please don't ruin this for me.
Oh, there is someone very nearby and very pissed off. Oh. Crap! Dropping shells. And the fact that I still hear a bot means there's probably another around here. I'm letting myself get trapped in this corner. I need to get the hell out of here. Reloading. Always listen for their reload. It's your moment of opportunity. Looks like that was a SKS mag, which means that can show up here. There we go. PP91.
The penetrative capabilities. Oh, I have to sit down.
You do that, buddy. You do that. Let's try a room.
This is a trap room.
Oh,
You are now trapped.
what happened to me? There we go. Beautiful. Small one's not so bad. Where were we? Oh, looks like another PP91, which means we can grab that spare mag. Let's do another.
Let's try to hurry this death wheels along, shall we?
Got it. Whew. should have actually spawned 3 of those. For some reason it spawned 1. I guess we will have to fix that.
Boiler? I hardly know her! But seriously, I do all of them pretty well.
The boiler now also has grilled meat pockets that are worth checking out. Nothing. If they do have ammo in them, you gotta catch it pretty quick. Got a friend. This is not going well for Anton. Ah! Out of ammo. Do we have a spare clip for this? We do. Load it, load it. Stuck in this room with this thing. First let's reload this. There's probably an enemy right now. It's empty. Oh, I think we caught it on fire and it died. Beautiful. Whew. Here we go. Let's get the heart rate back down a bit. He doesn't see us. Alright. Running low on ammo. But doing alright. Still haven't even found our first meat room. But,
this is cold storage. Nothing to worry about here. So just chill. Chill.
That's what we want. Their PP 91 mag. Alright. That's locked, so that's a meat room. So there's 1 to 2 of them here. Oh great, just what I wanted. Christmas gift. Another SKS mag. Should grab it. Though I haven't seen an SKS anywhere. Oh crap, where? Somewhere. Oh, it's there. We're not gonna have anything armor piercing to deal with it. We're just gonna have to run. Shotgun shell. Oh, we're back at our starting place. Great. This is not going so well. Oh, crap, no! That's empty. Great. I don't think we've got... Oh, wait. We got... Nope, that's SKS. Got 1 mag left of this. This was the choose. Oh, there's an SKS in here. Crap. Do we want to tempt fate? I think we want to tempt fate. Huh.
Pick it up. Yes. Touch it. Touch. Oh, I want to touch it. I want to touch it. I want to touch it too!
He lucked out there. I do not think I'm going to tempt fate a second time in there. Oh, I need to get the hell out of the freezer. I'm going in circles. Locked room. This way, maybe? Oh, someone's pissed.
Boiler. Go on. Damn. Voice but still.
All right, we're gonna do one more run here. Note, I'm not actually trying to like solve the meat puzzles of rooms. I'm just running around shooting bots, showing you guys how those are all working. It looks
now
like
this,
in this case,
this is a solid weapon right here. This is a plan coming together.
in this case, we got ourselves an early guest is what we have. Terrible. Eagle time. Got him. I was gonna say, I don't want that. Oh, didn't even manage to get it into the grinder. There we go. The blue anti-personnel shells are good for hitting things around your target, not so much doing a ton of damage in a headshot. Look at that. We got ourselves a useless attachment. So let's take ourselves here in our 6 rounds.
Meathead, table for 1.
Eagle. Can make a run to the office here. See if we can't find ourselves something better. Nope. Oh, we got a friend around. Oh. I don't think he saw me. Oh, he super duper saw me. Out of that now. Anything? Deagle Mag? Deagle Mag, let's see. Oh my god. That is just a whole mess of ruin there. Dead end. That's an MP5K mag. Oh, we're gonna die. We are gonna die. Let's see if we can't come at this from another angle. Oh, MP5K. MP5K.
Okay, careful. Be delicate with that. It deserves it. It loves it.
That was all 15 rounds of that. Damn it. Oh, and it's just a shotgun with more slugs. It's not what I need. I need a rifle. Crap. It's still coming. Let's see if we can lure him here into the laser mine. Come on, ugly. He is pushing that along. And come on. Come on. Oh, he's hurt.
What? I hardly know her! Seriously, I do all of them pretty well.
It's on fire. It's gonna go down. Eventually. Oh, crap. Oh, my God. So I'm all out of everything at this point. Boom! Ooh, take only one. Take only one. Do I have a mag for anything? PP91 mag.
The penetrative capabilities. Oh, I have to sit down.
me. Always lead with the hand-to-hand hit.
Oh no! It's a trap!
Well, this run isn't going to end well, so... Goodbye, cruel world.
Just go ahead and die! That's so helpful!